What is going on, YouTube? Patrick here. Time for the weekly What Sold video. I really do enjoy doing this stuff with you guys just because I like to be able to share what the successes I've had. It's also kind of interesting to like reflect on the failures that I've had, going over all the different things that I've done during the week. Definitely not a bad week. Definitely better than last week, but we're not back to the $1,000 weekly sales yet. I think we're just kind of in that time of year, right? The Probably once everybody starts to actually get their tax refunds, which is right, it's due May 15th. You'll see a lot more. And once I start listing some like really desirable items from summer tag sales, hopefully that will help as well. That being said, like not a bad week. 21 items listed and 17 sold. So like not quite where I want to be, right? I want to be 25, 25. I feel like I'm running low on stuff to list. Even today, I'm struggling. Like I listed 5 items on Monday and Tuesday, and here we are on Wednesday, and it's just not happening. Like I don't have enough stuff to list. I spent a lot of time this weekend cleaning out my storage unit, and I took a bunch of stuff to Goodwill and donated it. Stuff that I'm just not going to get to. I just don't feel like the time value is there. Right there, I had a bunch of like branded monopolies, and I was just like, you know what? I have to go through and count the pieces, make sure it's all there, and then maybe I could sell it for $10. And I was just like, it's just not worth it. So gonna start hitting tag sales here pretty soon, right? Tag sales in Connecticut are garage sales to everybody else. And so I've noticed that the more that I've gone to them and I've found some really good items so far, like that stuff is really selling well. So like I said, hopefully that will help. All right, but anyway, let's get into the items that sold. We had a total of $432 in sales last week. So it's about, what is it, about $100 more than last week, something like that? About that, about $100 more than the week before. So not bad, not where I want to be though, right? It's gonna be okay though. All right, let's see. I should go this way and make sure there's enough room up there. I'm trying something new this week. I've got my list on the computer that I'm using to film, so I can't see myself, which is a little bit weird, but kind of making me focus on the camera a little bit more too. So hopefully I'll be more interactive with the camera and less like looking at myself, looking at the other camera or the other computer when I'm doing this. All right, putting the first item up. This is a matte item. There's actually quite a bit of matte items this week. A few weeks ago, he brought over a huge box of Dungeons and Dragons stuff that he was looking to get rid of. Just he needed some space in his house too. I can understand. And I've been selling it off, and it's almost all gone now, actually, Matt. So this was a Ravenloft, like I don't know if it's a settings guide. I think is that what it ended up being. It's not like the player's handbook. It's more of just like an overall book that you could use if you wanted to put your players into the setting. So really more for like dungeon masters. So I thought it was worth $30, and I listed it for 30. I think I may have even put it up at $33.99 free shipping, something like that. I sold for the price I was looking for within about, I don't know, probably 10 to 14 days, 1 to 2 weeks, something like that. So really happy with that sale. Matt's going to get $12. I'm going to get $12. If you're not familiar with my process for consignment type stuff, I try to start with a 40%, 40%, 20%. So 40% goes to the consigner, and then I get 40%, and then I'm going to set aside 20% for fees and supplies. So pretty good deal for both of us there. It's a super easy item to list too, so that always helps. All right, item number 2 and 3 this week actually. I picked up these Avaya telephones. I picked up I think like 8 or 9 of these things a while back at Savers for like $3 each. And they've slowly been selling. That's what I kind of figured. I priced them at $40 each, and I've been slowly selling them off over time. I sold, I think, 2 individually, and then I've sold now 2 lots of 2 to people who are looking to, I don't know, beef up their telephone system, something like that. These are business telephones. If you're not familiar with those, all right, it has to be on a really specific network. You couldn't just plug this in on your home telephone line and have it work. So anyway, I got an offer for 2 of these at $30 each. And I took it. I was like, that's a reasonable offer for 2 of them, a nice little discount for them. And like I said, I was only into it for like $3 each, so it's going to be big profit there. All right, going into this next item, and it is.
Amber's weird sale of the week.
I still like putting that clip in there. That's a funny one to me. I picked this up at Savers a while back. It was in like a peanut jar, I think, something like that. It was a bunch of little toys. I love buying these big lots of little toys. You never really know what you're going to get in them. I've done really well with some of the ones I've bought. This one, when I first looked it up, I thought it was going to be like a $25 lot. You can see from the price though, I didn't get 25 for it, so not a very good flip. I was into it for about 450 and sold it for $10. So not going to be a really good flip there. That's okay. It was fun. Probably spent way too much time on this for the $10 I sold it for though. So gonna stay away from these in the future. They're moose toys though, just like Shopkins and a few others, and some of those can do really well. Shopkins worth, I don't know, about 50 cents each if you put them in a lot, maybe 25 cents, somewhere in that range. So you got to get them real cheap. All right, up next, like I said, there's going to be a few different mat items here. So here's another one. This one was a Dungeons and Dragons Skills and Powers book. I thought it was worth 20, priced it there, got 20. So it's going to be $8 to me, $8 to Matt. All right, and guess what? Another mat item. This one was more of a, I think it's like a self-contained Dungeons and Dragons module. So it's almost like a board game. This one, he had thought maybe $100. Looking online, I did not find that kind of comps on eBay. Like there was a couple listed for that. Most of them were complete and untouched. And Matt, unfortunately, yours was definitely missing a couple things, but nothing egregious. But it definitely brought the value down just a little bit. So I priced it at 50, thinking that'd probably be pretty fair. And I actually got an offer of 35. So my technique there is to split the difference. So I took the $15 difference, split in half to 750, and I said, well, what about 42.50? They accepted that counteroffer, so that's what it sold for. So it's going to be $17 to me and $17 for Matt. So pretty good there. All right, this lot here is from my personal collection, right? With the baby coming, I've been trying to get rid of just kind of extraneous stuff in the house, and so I cleared off a lot of my old DVDs. Oh my goodness, I probably got rid of over 100 movies, you guys, and being going to garage sales, I end up picking up quite a bit of DVDs because I want to watch it. And so if I can get it for 25 cents to a dollar, that's worth it, right? If I go to Amazon and I want to watch the movie, it's going to cost $4 to rent. So picking it up for a dollar at a garage sale isn't a bad deal to kind of rent it for a while. But then what do you do with them? So I end up just holding on to them, right? Because that seems to be what we do. We're all kind of hoarders. But so I ended up donating a huge big bin of them to Goodwill. And before I did that, though, I went through and just took out anything that I thought might be a good flip. And it ended up just kind of being sets. And I think I kept all the Blu-rays. I also gave Amanda a bunch of them. So like Amanda was pretty happy about that. But I kept all the Blu-rays. So I did like a lot of Marvel movies. And I did a lot of Harry Potter's, right? And then I just kind of had this other set of 5 randoms, and I was like, you know what? Let's just put it up for I think $10.99 free shipping, maybe. So it'd be like $7 plus $4 shipping, something like that. And it ended up selling after a couple weeks. So what are you gonna do? It's kind of a funny little thing. I wanted to make sure I was having some listings, right? I've mentioned the anxiety that I've had lately about having enough things to list. All right, next item. This is another Matt item. This was the part of the first lot that he brought over to me, which ended up being just 5 toys, basically. A couple Star Wars and a couple of these Marvel. So this was Marvel Superhero Squad, and it wasn't like the little like 2-inch guys. This guy was more like a 6-inch figure, so that he'd be proportional to the little 2-inch guys, which is really cool in my mind. I did not know that these bigger figures from that line were worth more individually. Definitely gives me more like knowledge for when I'm out looking at garage sales or even at thrift stores, right? Because if I see it and it's like $3.99, I might have been like, what? That's crazy. But if they're worth $20, $30, something like that, like definitely want to pick it up. It's an easy flip. There's no like parts that can break in it, right? It's not electronics. It's just a piece of plastic. And so as long as it's not like beat to heck, probably going to be a good flip. So like really value that there. Matt said he did not want any money for the toys. So that's all for me. Thanks, Matt. All right, coming up here is this is a telephone. And right, I've been selling a few of these this year as I found them at my local Savers. I've actually found a good number of them, probably like 4 or 5 of these during the winter that were brand new in the box. So that's an easy one for me. I love selling brand new items. Just put it up for sale, and usually it ends up selling within a few weeks. People still are interested in these. And it's made me look into the used ones as well. So I'm starting to learn that used market. I'm going to start buying those like immediately. It looks like they can sell for a good amount of money, especially like Panasonic. And maybe if you get Uniden or VTech, if there's multiple headsets, like probably four or more, then those can be pretty good as well. And there's a few other brands out there that you can look for. It looked like Panasonic is kind of the go-to though, so pretty interesting. I thought this was actually going to be worth a little bit more. There were no comps, you guys. Like I could not find a single of these that were sold, so I was like, I'm going to price it around $50. And I thought I'd be able to get it. It stayed up for a couple weeks, and I started getting offers in like the $25, $30 range, and I was like, that feels a little low. There was used ones selling for about that as well. So I knew I should be commanding a premium on this. I knew I could get it. And so I found somebody who was really interested in it. They kept sending me offers, and I just kept coming down by like $5. And finally, we agreed on 40. I was into it for $7. So like 7 into 40 is a great flip, right? That's a reseller flip, like pretty normal one. So like that's where I wanted to be anyway. 50 would have been better, of course, but I'm not unhappy with $40 there. All right, this is actually the first of two that sold last week. This is a lot of Louis L'Amour books, right? I picked up 120 books for $20 from an estate sale a few weeks back, and I've been putting them in lots of like 30. There was, I think, one series that I put together, and then it's been lots of 30. And I was left with 40 of them, and I was like, okay, I could do a lot of 30 and a lot of 10. That didn't make sense to me. So I just did two lots of 20, put them at $20. And actually, they both sold. So I'll come back to the second one because that was the last sale, I think, of the week, or pretty close. But right, I was into this for, I don't know, it looks like about $5, which is probably a little more than it sounds like because it was supposed to be 120 bucks at $20. So that's probably like 20 cents each. So it should have been like $4, but that's what I've got written down here. So great little flip there. All right, this one here is the sale of the week. Love doing that. That's so dumb and so much fun, right? It's just one of those things where it's like it's so much fun to do that as doing YouTube. And you can see it wasn't that much more than a couple of the other sales that I've had. $45. It was used, right? This is one of the bigger Scrabble games. You guys, if you don't mind shipping bigger items, this is something you can look for. They're definitely desirable. Any of the Scrabble ones, like the tile locks or the rotating boards, they're going to sell in the $30 to $50 range pretty consistently. Of course, you never know what's going to happen this summer. Maybe people won't be buying them anymore, but at least in the last couple of years, I've done a pretty good job of it. But you do need a pretty big box. This one was a little smaller than the rotating boards, so I was able to fit it into one of my, I guess, normal sized boxes that I always use anyway. But the bigger ones, the rotating boards, those I end up having to almost make a box, which takes some time. And maybe it's not worth it for everybody to make a box for a $30 or $40 item, but it's something that I can find and repeat, and it's like not too bad. So I've enjoyed doing it, and I'm going to keep buying them until I stop enjoying it, I think. I was into this for $5. I thought it was worth 40, and I actually ended up selling it for 45, so a little bit better than I thought. All right, so this item here, I actually got this while I was out thrifting with Amanda, and I thought when I originally bought it that I could sell it for about $30. Just was not getting any kind of traction there. I kept getting offers in the $12 to $15 range, and just was not happy about that, right? I don't know what would make mine less worth less than some of the others that were selling in the $30, $35 range. But what are you going to do? I finally just gave up and took a $20 offer on it. It's not my best flip. I was into it for about $9, so not going to win any prizes with this one, but not too bad. All right, this next item, oh, video game. I don't sell a lot of video games anymore because I kind of don't have very many. Most of them have sold. So that's nothing but good, right? Like I don't want these things sitting in inventory. I don't want them sitting in my I haven't listed it death pile, right? I want these things sold. So I have a few sitting up on the shelf that are listed, and finally this one finally sold. So this is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I was into it for $2 and sold it for 7. Not the best, but I really enjoy selling video games, so like I don't mind for this one. All right, another video game. This one picked up kind of recently. I got this at a comic book shop in Canton, and they wanted $5 a video game. So I picked up a bunch of brand new ones, just not really knowing if any of them were worth anything, but knowing that brand new games usually have more value than used games. And got home and found out that it was worth $20. So I think I listed it for $23.99 with free shipping, and that's what it sold for. So nice little flip there, 5 into $20. All right, same place, same day. Found these all 10 seasons of Friends, and did a quick search on eBay. It looked like it was selling for like $35, something like that. So I listed it for 35. I got a couple offers in the $20 to $25 range, and I really wanted more, like at least 30. So I kept counter offering at $30, and I finally got someone to pick it up. And so right, $10 is what I ended up paying for it, turning it into 30. Nice little solid flip there. All right. This one I think was from that same day actually when I bought a lot of this other stuff. But this was from my Saturday Savers run, right? I was in Manchester, and I'm always trying to get in there right when they open at 10, and just walked around the store. And I didn't even see this the first time I went by it. But when I came back around the second time, it caught my eye. And so I was like, I never really find Beyblades. I found them a couple times, usually just a one or two of them, and that's very similar to what this was. But I was like, looked it up online, looked like a similar lots were selling in the $20 range. So that's what I listed it for, and it sold within about a week or so. So I was into this for like 250, something like that. Man, I hope I find more of these this summer. Toys is always one of those things where I just don't find a lot of them at the garage sales here, or if I do, it's baby stuff or just stuff that's trashed, right? I can't tell you how much Star Wars stuff that I have found where it's like none of the pieces are there. You get the chassis, right? You get the Millennium Falcon, but there's no gun, no radar dish, no canopy. There's no cover for the back. And same thing with all of the rest of the toys. So like that just tends to be what I usually find. Occasionally I'll find a really good lot, but I hope I find more of these. This is a great little flip here. All right, so I mentioned this one earlier, right? This is the second lot of Louis L'Amour books that I sold this week. Same story, 20 of them. I sold it for $20. So, like, I hope I find more of these lots in the future. I'm definitely going to be trying to get them, hopefully, paperbacks. I want to pay about a quarter at the most. Hopefully, I can find some more. All right, and this is actually the last item of the week, another matte item. So this one, I actually had thought that this book was going to be more like a $30 book, or maybe like a $25 book, and didn't get any offers, didn't get anybody buying it, and somebody started offering me like $10, and I was like, oh my god, you guys, I have it listed at $30 with free shipping, and you're offering me 10, which is going to be $6, right, and plus shipping basically. So I was like, no, absolutely not. But this is the part of the piece of advice I want to give you is even if you get a low ball offer like that, be sure to counteroffer. I mean, if you put best offer on there, you're willing to take an offer. So what are you willing to accept? On this one, I was hoping to get somewhere near there, right? So I counteroffered with $26 with free shipping and saying, well, how about true free shipping? And they counteroffered with like 15, and we just kept doing on this until I think I got them down to $24 free shipping. So it ended up being $20 plus shipping, right? So it was going to be $4 for media mail. So going to be $8 to me, $8 to Matt. Definitely happy to get rid of it, get it sold. $6 difference, right? That's all it was, ended up being. And they originally were trying to get it for much, much less than that. So just that's the lesson there. Just don't be afraid to counteroffer. Don't be afraid to try and command the price that you know it's worth. I know that I even complain about lowballers quite a bit, and it's a pain. But if if you're willing to accept an offer, you have to be willing to negotiate too. So just don't give up. So like I said, $432 was what we sold last week. And I was actually overestimated it a little bit. I thought it was worth more like $500. So I was about $80 low on my estimates this time. So that's not great. Since there was so much commission to Matt, right? This is gonna be a little bit higher cost of goods sold. So it was $108 cost of goods sold this week. Let's see here. Looking at my metrics, put in 11 and a half hours last week. And even after fees, so not going to be the best week. $22 was going to be my hourly rate after cost of goods sold, after fees to eBay, right? All that stuff. About the only thing that's not included is taxes, right? So this is going to be profits before I have to pay taxes on this money. So again, not going to be a great week. It's actually less my hourly rate is actually less than the week before, even though I sold $100 more. That's going to happen sometimes. I did more hours of work last week, and my cost of goods sold was a little bit higher. Hopefully this week will be a little bit better. Just like that's just kind of the roller coaster ride, right? That was my video last week. Is that sometimes it's up and sometimes it's down, and it's going to just average out overall for the whole year. So can't get too focused on any one week. All right, you guys, that's going to do it for this week. If you enjoyed this, feel free to give me the thumbs up. And if you're interested in more of these videos, feel free to subscribe. No pressure there if you don't want to. I'm really happy that you're watching it, even if you didn't subscribe. It's no problem. Uh, I'm just doing this for fun, so I hope you had fun watching it. Once again, my name is Patrick, and thank you very much.